Joining me now is Husam Zomlot, Palestinian ambassador to the UK. Thank you very much for coming into the studio. In light of the new Israeli ground operation inside Gaza, do you think there can be any resumption of the ceasefire now?
That's what we're hoping for, that's what we're calling for, that's what we are working for with our regional and international partners. There was an agreement, and there are guarantors of this agreement, including the Trump administration. So yes, we are working around the clock so the ceasefire agreement is upheld. But Israel has breached the ceasefire agreement since day one, in average killing 3 Palestinians before the latest onslaught, cutting aid, as you may have followed, electricity and what have you, and then came yesterday's overall sort of airstrikes, killing more than 400. 170 of them are children that were sleeping in their tents. And it seems Israel has not learned the lesson, or to be more precise, Netanyahu did not learn the lesson. Put aside that what Israel has done over the last year and a half to be immoral, criminal, and indeed illegal, but it's also impractical. After a year and a half, after killing more than 60,000 innocent people, destroying the vast majority of Gaza, 70% of homes, most hospitals, most schools, all universities, the entire infrastructure, nothing was achieved except when we got to a diplomatic agreement. That's how you get a win-win. And Israel got the hostages out. There was stages for this to be scheduled, but Netanyahu is not interested in the hostages. He's not interested in anything except his own personal political survival. You hear the Israeli protest today and all the placards in their hands. It's either Netanyahu or Israel. So he has chosen himself and his coalition. That is absolutely clear. And he has dragged us, the Israelis, the region, and the world into this mayhem.
You said at the beginning that Israel hadn't learnt anything. Well, learnt what?
Learn that killing all these innocent people does not get you anywhere. The only place it gets you is the ICC. The only place it gets you is that you are wanted now for war crimes and crimes against humanity. The only place it gets you is the millions of people in London and the UK, all over the world, protesting your criminality. Israel has achieved absolutely nothing whatsoever in terms of the practical thing. The only achievement was when there was an agreement struck. But Netanyahu is not interested in agreements.
You speak of them breaking the terms of the ceasefire, but Hamas also guilty of doing that. Is that correct?
There was an agreement, regardless of who was guilty when. There was an agreement. Why would you breach it? For what calculations? What are you after? Exactly.
But what I'm saying is Hamas has breached the agreement also. Do you agree with that?
Well, there are mediators here. There are guarantors here. I'd like to hear from them. I haven't heard that Hamas has breached from the mediators themselves, that is Egypt, Qatar, and the US. Israel was clearly, after breaching this agreement from day one, Netanyahu is not interested in going to phase 2 of the agreement because guess what? Phase 2 includes the stuff he doesn't like.
But when we see...
It includes the ending of the war. It includes the political conversations about the future. It includes the unification of Gaza with the West Bank. It includes the coming back of the idea of a state of Palestine. And he's ideologically there with his coalition to block it. That's the whole deal, my dear.
But when we see images of Hamas returning hostages malnourished and injured, and instances of returning the wrong remains and parading coffins on a stage, do you understand how that angers the Israeli administration, the Israeli people?
I'm surprised at this question because only 2 days ago the UN came up with a damning report about the systematic violence, sexual violence against Palestinian hostages. We have thousands of them. Israel takes them, around them without trial or charge. Many of them are children. And the UN has documented the use of sexual violence against Palestinian hostages, captives, like never before. And I quote the report saying that what these hostages have, the Palestinian side, the captives, the detainees have gone through is more than any human can bear. And we still discuss this Israeli propaganda. I mean, it's good that people are freed. People have to be respected under international law. All hostages must be freed.
What is the Israeli propaganda?
But the Israeli propaganda is that it's the Palestinian side all the time, for years, for decades, not just now, are the maximalists, the extremists, the violent, when in fact violence has been exercised against us for decades. Systematic rule of apartheid that has given the slightest regard to human life, dignity, to international law. And the issue of Palestinian detainees is there to be treated. So nonetheless, it's good that hostages are released from both sides. It's good that we were going in that direction. Enough suffering from both sides. But here you go. Netanyahu is not interested in that path. He's not interested in his hostages. And I hear all these racist remarks, like some Palestinians are fat. Where is the starvation? I mean, you are starving the children and the most vulnerable. People have frozen to death in the last few months because of you cutting energy, electricity, and water. And then you come and say this person was not really treated. I mean, this is a whole system of oppression, a whole system of denial of basic rights that needs to be focused and focused on, not the gritty-nitty details. The agreement that was reached had the potential of actually getting us where we want to all go, which is the root cause of all this. The root cause of all this is not this group versus that group. The root cause of all this is decades-long occupation, colonization, apartheid, besiegement of people, denial of basic rights. And I believe you me, now with the Arab world sitting there in Cairo and deciding in a united manner that there is a future, there is a way forward, we have an opportunity to counter Netanyahu and the Smotrich and all these fanatics, and to really provide a future, not only for us, the Palestinians, the Israelis, and the region, and perhaps the world, because what is happening with us will affect the rest of the world.
But you want to stop the fighting. You want to stop the fighting now.
Of course.
The easiest way to do that would be to return all of the hostages. Would you advise Hamas that that is what they should do?
Well, I would advise everybody to stick to the agreement. We have to stick to the agreement.
But specifically, would you advise Hamas to return the hostages?
The agreement includes returning all the hostages in 3 phases. In 2 phases for the hostages, by the way. So I advise everybody to stick to the agreement. You see, for the previous 15 months since October 2023, Israel has dismantled international law. It has dismantled international order completely. Now it is dismantling diplomacy. What is the essence of diplomacy? The essence of diplomacy is once you have reached an agreement, you have got to honor it, upheld it, respect it. Now it's gone. Now you can change the goalpost anytime. You say, no, I like that bit of the agreement, I like this bit of the agreement, and the situation around me has changed. Netanyahu is a calculator. He's just a politician.
That both sides have to uphold the agreement.
Absolutely, 100%. And please go back to the mediators, go back to the international community, go back to the reports, and you'll see who has breached this agreement and why. It is very clear this current Israeli government is not interested in any way forward. They just want to have perpetual, permanent war. Why? It serves them. It serves them very well.
But why?
Because Netanyahu in so much trouble legally, and you know he's in court every day, in so much trouble with his own people. The majority of the Israeli people do not want this war to continue. Please go back to the polls. And he is so much in trouble with his own coalition because he has been in bed with the most fanatics, supremacists, racists, like Smotrich and Ben-Gvir, who would tell him if he doesn't continue pedaling in the direction of war, they will bring him down. That's the whole thing. The whole thing has nothing to do with peace, with stability, with the future of Israel, let alone the region. It's all about the future of few strong men in Israel. And I've seen the images from Tel Aviv today that the Israeli people are telling these people, these leaders, enough is enough. This is no longer about us and about Israel. This is about you, and we don't accept it. So this is the truth. This is the truth.
Husam Zomlot, Palestinian ambassador to the UK, thank you very much for joining us at this